Hi everyone. Did an event with Chopper yesterday at Gloucester Comic Con. Went really well. I'll put a picture up of the stand that we had right about now. And just realised that's come undone. Do you up? Right. Yeah, so he did really well for the day. Took a bit of abuse off the kids. That's pretty normal. And I had just done a demonstration with the Saber Guild where Chopper was sort of being force pushed by the kids. First time, sort of like, nothing worked. Gonna laugh at you. Second time, back a bit, a little bit of a. Third time, screaming all the way backwards that he's being force pushed. Worked really well. Kids loved it. After that point, I was driving around the con, and I noticed that all of a sudden, if I'm trying to drive forward, I'm actually going off this way. So there's something wrong with this leg here. Obviously, I'm at a con. People around, there's not much I can do. I lifted the droid up, tested the leg, and then the motor's moving. The motor's obviously moving on that side as well. So I'm going to take this apart and find out what's going on. I suspect I know what it is, but take the foot shell off the leg, and then take the drive out the foot shell, and we'll take it apart and see what's going on. Right. I've got the drive off, and I've had a quick visual inspection underneath. And apart from the usual collection of hair, lovely, it all seems okay. So that's running smoothly. It's also a good time to check to see how dirty and damaged everything gets. It's not too bad. This seems to be moving okay. I can see. Let's click. Where did that click? Why did that click? Right, something going on there. I can see the shaft motor. The shaft gear turning just here as well. How well you? I don't know if the click's picking up, but it gets to a certain point it clicks. So what I have done is I've just quickly run a couple of extra wires off a battery, and hopefully we can see what's going on. This will get noisy. Oh. Or maybe not. Right. Let's try reverse. Something happened. Right. So I think it's what I thought it was. The gear has stripped somewhere. Let's take these off. Don't accidentally electrocute anything. Right. Yeah, I think what's happened is, and luckily I've already ordered the part. It'll be here tomorrow. Is on the gear shaft in there. You can probably just see a glint of metal about here. So that's a hub. Metal hub that's attached to the motor, but I can hear the motor turning, but obviously this wasn't doing anything. But if I turn the wheel, the gear's moving, so there's obviously a disconnect between that and that. I might be lucky. It might just be a case it just needs tightening up again. I also can't remember how you take this thing apart, so I know I've got to take these 6 screws out, and that will allow me to lift this out. So I will just do that. Right, first of all, this is delaminated and coming apart. I'm going to set a new one of these off to print now. Yeah. Set a new one of those off to print now. I'll do that after I hit the pause on this clip. Right, I will also get the glue gun ready to sort these out. thin nuts keep coming out. There they go. There they go. Oh, forgot a screw. Forgot a screw. Two, I think. Now see if you'll come out. These foot shelves are getting replaced, by the way. So these were the animated. If you watch the rest of my build series, these are the animated foot shelves. There's another screw there. These are the animated foot shelves that I modified with my own parts when live action Chopper was revealed for the Ahsoka thing, for the Ahsoka series on Celebration Anaheim. And while it's not too far off, there are glaringly obvious. Not glaringly obvious because no one's really noticed, unless you're a die-hard Star Wars fan. But there are differences, there are errors, and I have been slowly replacing like the greeblies on the legs. The dome's going to get replaced when I get around to it with Mike's actual live-action pieces. What was that, and where did it go? That one. With Mike's actual live-action pieces. And the foot shells and the battery boxes are the last two things. They're printed. Well, the foot shells are anyway. It's just, honestly, the weather this year has been awful. To try and get anything painted. I mean, we're in the middle of Storm Bert now. I mean, so no chance going to get anything painted. So realistically, I'm looking at next year. So as long as these can last until next year, I'll be okay. Saying that, I just noticed this. Ooh. Oh, right. You can see where it's split. It's split between the two changes of PLA. Right, I will run some more magic goo, more PLA in Plastic along there. And what I'm also going to do is hot glue in these thin nuts, which you can't see because they're off camera, and hot glue those thin nuts in so they stop coming out. So let's do that. There's another one. So it's 1, 2, 3. No, there's one still in there. So where the other ones come from? I've got 5 thin nuts, 3 holes. Where have the other ones come from? Oh, that's the problem when you build something years ago, you can't remember. What have you come off? Or are these ones that I lost? And then, oh no, 2 there. So, okay. Let's move you. Right, hot glue this before I do anything else and glue that so it stays back together. Right, as glued back together, I've gone around with hot glue on all for the thin nuts. So you can go somewhere over there. And the same one here, all the thin nuts that are visible that I can see, I've gone through with hot glue. I should have done this when I built it, to be fair. I just didn't. Right. So now we've got better access. We can see what's going on here. Assuming you can see. So let's hook the battery up again. Don't know how well you're going to see this, but this. So red to red, it really matters with these motors. So if this works properly, that should be turning. That's the shaft for the motor itself. bugger all. Right. So that confirms that there's something wrong with that gear. Oh, there's a lot of screws. There's a lot of screws. Right. I think I need to take these ones out. I don't think I need to get to the motor. I just need to get to the gear here. Right, question is that the cap, or is the cap on the other side? I think that's the cap. Let's start with you. Yeah, okay. Yeah. Oh, this is going to be a pain. You'll notice I'm trying to put the screws in the same position that they are when they come off. I think in most cases they're all the same length. It shouldn't matter which ones go back, but just in case. The issue I've got is it's rounding out the screw. So I might be replacing the screw, which isn't a problem. Well, unless I can't get this out, in which case it is a problem. Right, Imperial ones aren't helping. Come on. What about this one? Oh. Right. Don't know which one you just come out of.
"20 minutes later."
I just need to find an Allen key of a slightly worse tolerance for 2 mil that will hopefully catch it and stop it stripping. I'm going to be out of luck there. Yeah, there's a wonderful sticker and patch I found on Etsy. Somebody in America, and I keep meaning to order one. And it's a picture of Chopper saying, "I'm going to cause problems on purpose." Yeah. And getting back so many memories of building this thing. Come on, just something give way. You just turn on the spot. Yeah, you're just turning on the spot. Does that? No, there's bugger all there. Oh, actually. Oh, okay. Yeah. Yeah. All right. I may be a while at this.
2 hours later.
Mistakes were made. Let me take you on this horrendous journey. So, I couldn't get this off. Sorry, I couldn't get that plate off, which I've had to rip off because these screws were stuck. So this screw was going through that gear there. I couldn't get it out, so I ended up ripping this bit off. But likewise, this screw was stuck going through the wheel. So once this plate was ripped off, I thought, I can get access to them, undo the screw, and then just replace the screw later. No, not having that. I've had to take the back plate off, which means I've had to take that off, undo all these screws to be able to get to the pins. Now, I've removed the pins. I've had to snap this pin, which is the pin that goes through the drive wheel. That's going to need a reprint. That's going to need a reprint because the screw's stuck in it anyway. So I'm now up to this plate, the 2 pins, and that to be reprinted. Admittedly, it won't take long, but I haven't even actually got to the point where I'm looking at this yet. I'm just going to rescrew these screws in. I don't know why they've come out, but once they are screwed in, I'm going to apply a liberal amount of hot glue to them, because as I've been coming across the parts that need it, I've been hot gluing the square nuts in. Now, of course, I've lost the square nut. Let's grab the other ones. Of course, my hands are absolutely covered in grease. They're covered in grease, which is my fault. I put the grease in there. But they're also covered. There we go, in 3 square nuts. But they're also covered in it's like hair and all this stuff from cons, and you don't really want to know what it is. Right, you're a duff screw anyway, so one of these is what I want. This one. So I'm just going to put this back in, and then we'll pop some hot glue in there. No, to help if I actually attach it to the screw. There we go. I'm actually wondering whether I should be taking apart the other one now to make sure these are tight, but I don't really want to. I don't really want to open that can of worms right now. If that's warm up. Right, there may now be some hot glue in it, and in there, and in there. Excellent. Just make sure it's flat on the top. Right. So at least the drive wheels. At least the drive wheel's okay. If it's a little mucky, that should be in there, and that should be in there. Right, so you're fine. Bearings back in there. Bearings are in there. Fine. Haven't lost any bearings. I lost my marbles, but I haven't lost any bearings. Why did I do this? Oh yeah, that. Right. Tell you what, I'm going to clean my hands first. Put a jumper on to protect the t-shirt. But let's hook the motor up, and let's see what's happening here. I'm not trying to get too much grease on my hands. Right. torch the black gear. So after a few moments, I think I worked out what's going on, which in retrospect it was actually fairly obvious what was going on. That's turning when there's no friction against it. As soon as there's anything touching it or trying to create any torque, is that torque? Anything that's trying to create resistance against it, basically, the spindle starts spinning on the inside. So that's a very simple fix. And all I need to do is just there, a little black set screw. I just need to tighten that up. Now, while I can tighten this up, and that's not a problem, saying that, might need to untighten it and then put it back on. While I could tighten it up and then job done, something else to bear in mind is this is the perfect opportunity to change it over for a sonic hub. It does mean I have to take apart the other drive as well to do this, which which could be entertaining. Well, there's a set screw. So 2 set screws. There are 2 set screws. There we go. Right. Yeah, so I can change it for a sonic hub, and a bit like what I've done on the R2 build. So essentially just put the sonic hub on here. This bit gets replaced by a sonic hub. I mean, to be fair, that's not been too bad. So I'm actually more likely just happy just to stick this back on. So I'm going to... Or do I just put the sonic hub on? I've got the sonic hubs arriving tomorrow. I don't think the sonic hub's going to make that much difference to this. It's just a different way of clamping it, admittedly. A better way of clamping it. Yeah, this has been 4 years. I'll just pop this back on. When I change the foot shells over, I may look at doing this. That's the normal side. So I've lined the set screw up with the sort of straight side of the D shaft, and then just tighten it back up, essentially, and then hopefully I don't put it too far down the shaft as well. Probably should have checked that. Yeah, hopefully this will give me another 4 years of use out of it. If after putting this back on it still acts exactly the same way, then I will put the sonic hubs on. Let's find out. Seems okay. Get myself covered in stuff again. Battery. Oh, you'll note new pieces have been printed. I'm hoping they'll work without needing a lot of sanding. Right. So red. See what happens. No, it's this way around, isn't it? No, which way around is it? Ooh. Yeah, there's no resistance on there. Yeah, when I tried this earlier, as soon as I put that gear up against it, that just stopped and everything span inside it. So happy with that. So yes, I do have the sonic hubs arriving tomorrow. I think that will be when I replace the foot shells job. For now, I just need this up and running for any future conventions this side of Christmas. So I'll clean my hands up again, and we'll start putting things back together. I need to try and dig out the replacement screws for these bits, and that was bent all out of shape. So they're going to go in the bin in a second. I'll have a good look at the heads on these ones as well, see which ones are stripped out, and then yeah, we'll go from there. Move you out of the way. Yeah, we can start putting things back together. I didn't even want to know what that is. Right, I've caved. I'm going to put these on. So I've printed out the gear drive for it. It's exactly the same, but there's no lip around the edge for the hub. It's just flat. And then it just gets screwed on. So let's open this up. So in Orca Slicer, I embossed an L and an R. Just so I remember which one was which. So screws come out there. So these are Sonic hubs, or these are the cheap Chinese versions of Sonic hubs. So essentially, you can see, turn it around this way, you put the shaft through here, and then these two screws tighten up and clamp it down. It's got two, then it's got an all-round clamp. It's actually quite a clever idea. And this will go, so on this hub, there's two larger holes. The other two don't go anywhere. So it's the two larger holes we want. So I'm just going to line that up, and I'm just going to put some screws through there. And that's it. Really? Oh, I need to put some thin nuts in here as well. So let's take that off. That needs to be taken off. And reuse two of these screws. So I didn't glue that in as well, did I? Oh no, it's just tight. All right, that won't go to waste. That'll be used on something else. Get some new thin nuts out. Two of those. So you see the little thin nut slots. Yeah, naturally that's not long enough. Okay. You can go back somewhere then. All right, let's try the 14s. You know what I should have checked first? Is that the shaft actually goes through there, okay? Is that done up? Right, your hex head. And then this should just, so you can see, got the raised bit at the top here. That's going to go against the shaft. Okay. Right, that's on. So you can see it's like the old one, it's flush to the end. Moves okay. Now you're probably wondering how I'm going to tighten this up. We've got that slot there still. And if I just turn the Sonic hub slightly, still got access to the screws. So let's... There we go. And that's on. So let's pop this new pin back through and put the gear on. Check it all connects up okay. that looks good. If anything, I could probably just pull the thing forward slightly. Or is that just because it's not sat? Do you know what? Yeah, I'm going to pull it forward slightly. Oh, too far. Right, let's put this gear back in. So I know where I need it. Yeah, I think that'll do. So I've got about that much of the Sonic Hub showing. Right, let's check this. That looks fine. Obviously, it's wobbly a bit because there's nothing to hold that in place, but it works fine. So we've got the Sonic Hub on. Got this drive gear back in. I think this gear needs to go back in first, which means I need you. I think. Turn you this way. No, before that goes on, I need to put a screw through the pin, which I need a new screw, don't I? Because the other one was bust. So it's going to be an M3 times 50, I imagine. Is it 50? I'm going to double check. Right. It doesn't say any instructions. I don't know why it doesn't, but so I'm going to use a M3 by 30 and then have just one coming in on the other side. I don't think they need to be touching necessarily, the screws in the middle. So now we can get the drive gear back in. Right, you go back on there. And now I think we can put this back on. I think. Yeah, because there's a pin that side, isn't there? So that's all these ones. If anybody can see where I'm going wrong, please shout at the screen. I won't hear you, but you'll feel better for shouting at the screen telling me I'm going wrong. Now I'll put this pin through. Oh, look at that. Just fits. It just fits. Again, I'm going to put a 40 through here.
One eternity later.
Okay. Okay. Oh, don't tell me you're stuck in here now. It's caught on something. That wasn't truly stuck. The only thing is, I don't know why. Let's just ignore that. That didn't happen. The square nut got cross-threaded and got stuck. Let's take the whole thing out again. So that's now back together. And there wasn't a screw in there in the first place. I'm not going to bother putting another one in. So let's... No, I didn't check to see if that needed one. There's no square nut in there, so... Right, let's get you back together. I need something that will squeeze those together without getting in the way. That's not going to work, is it? There we go. Right. Oh. anybody ever says to you building droids is easy, they're lying. Right. Get this back on. Well, get this new one on now. Right, and then this end cap goes there. And I think it's going to be too long for that one, isn't it? It's just poking through, so I need a 10 or so. Mad. Right, let's try 20. 20 is going to be way too long. Let's try a 12. It only needs to grip into the peg. Really? Okay. Still moves, that's good. Right. You through, and you need a cap. No, sorry, these are 40. I know these ones are okay. As in the end cap is okay. Does mean the middle of the drive wheel doesn't have a reinforcement going through it, but the majority of it will, as in the majority of the peg does. The pin, which is the important thing.
Eventually.
Right, before I put these final screws in, I'm going to check that actually it is still going to run. The last thing I want to do is put all the screws in and find it doesn't work for some random reason. Fine. Okay, right. So let's put these final screws in, which were these ones originally. God, look how clean that looks compared to the rest of it. Why aren't you guys catching anything? Because I'm a muppet. There's no thin nuts in there. These ones fell out and I meant to put some new ones in. And put some glue in there. So now we need to do some acrobatics. Get some thin nuts in there. Right. There's one. Yeah, so it's just the screw going back through here. And then the other side. Already has one in. Fine, cool. Okay. Right. What do I need now? What am I doing now? What do I need? Who am I? Where am I? The shell. God, it's been chewed up down there, isn't it? All along there. And luckily it's hidden by the ankles, but it's still going to need a respray, I think. Right. So now we get all these screws I buried under here and just put them all back in. Right, now we get the new one of these. Please don't let me have forgotten anything. See how long these bits stay clean. Right. Oh. That's now back together. God, there's a lot of damage on this. As I said, the foot shells get replaced anyway. Right, one final check. Because I'm paranoid. Excellent. You know what I did forget to do? Grease the gear wheel up. Luckily, you get access to the gear wheel just from here. So yeah, let's put more grease in here so that future me can curse it past me. But I maintain that this is probably the reason why my PLA plus gears have held up so well. And to be honest, there we go. that's ready to go back on the droid. I think this damage can be tidied up when I put the new foot shell on. Obviously, this will get repainted. I can just sort of maybe put some putty along there and fix that. For now, I think it's fine. And as I said, most of it gets covered up by, the ankle's going to be there. You're going to have the battery box here. It covers a lot of it up anyway. So yeah, that's that done. Get it back on the droid and see if it drives okay. And then I can think about whether I want to look at the other drive or not. To be fair, I'm not going to jinx it, but it should be relatively quick because all I've got to do is just take the plate off and undo the gear from underneath, pull it off, put the new one on, do it back up, put the plate back on. But that's in theory. I mean, this was the better drive out of the two, as in for screws and stuff. So the other one's probably going to be an absolute nightmare. I might end up having to reprint stuff again. But anyway, you don't need to see that because you see me repair this one. It'll be exactly the same. But yeah, Sonic hubs. I will pop the link for those in the description. And if I don't look at the R2 drive video, they're in there. They're the exact same ones. All I will say is they're from Amazon. They're from a random Chinese company. The first time I ordered them, I ended up with these. The description was, the Sonic hub. I ended up with these. Needless to say, they went back. I tried again, and I got the right ones that time. So anyway, that's me done. And I will close off by saying thank you very much for watching. I hope this has helped if you have any problems with your own drive, or if you ever wondered when you're watching the chopper videos, how the hell was I going to do any maintenance on that with the amount of trouble I had with the screws? Now you know. Thanks for watching. I'll see you on the next one. Bye for now.